Okay, good afternoon, folks. Hope everyone's had a relaxing weekend. Monday the 25th last week in November. I can't believe how quick this year's gone. It didn't seem 5 minutes since we were coming up to our Christmas break last year. So I'm just looking at this channel at the moment. Market's opening about 30 seconds. So touch, maybe a touch here, but obviously I'm staying out of this. Market's due open. It could flick up. It could come down. Could do anything. Hey, Speedy, how you doing, buddy? So yeah, we've also got this big gap up. It's a fair sized gap, that is. Not quite sure why that did that, but it's about 15 points, 14 points, somewhere about there. So I think there's a fair chance we may come down at some point in the day. It does look like we're clearly trending up at the moment, and I'd say we're quite likely at the top of maybe a bigger channel. There could be something there. So it kind of doesn't fit that bad. So I don't think it'd be long before we do that. So FSEN, how you doing, buddy? So we'll see. Anyway, market is open and we have pushed down. So I'm probably going to get rid of that for now, I think, and we'll just keep an eye on things. That's pushing down pretty steep. Let's have a look. Could be a channel there. Could be a bunch of stuff, really. Maybe an overshoot now. I don't know. But there's definitely a lot of sideways stuff there. I suppose people unsure whether to get in. Obviously, with that gap up, at some point we usually come down. So it went a bit sideways after that. So let me just check.
Order submitted.
Cancel all opening. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Beautiful.
Order cancelled.
I'll keep an eye on them. So channel down. What's that ATR? That ATR is quite low, which is good. It's certainly quite low considering we've had that big gap up. So I'm just going to get an order just submitted, in case we can get 2 legs up here. Okay, let's just, I think we get rid
order
of that
cancelled.
For now. That's coming up dangerously quick. Let me just see if there is something. No, I don't know. I was just thinking about maybe something like that. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. I don't know. It's just. Maybe there is something like that. I don't know. That looks like the type of channel Mac has, actually. A little bit unusual. But it could be something like we got a touch, close enough, a touch there. So maybe it is, I don't know. It's like a possible link of support line. How you doing, Brant? Yeah, it's a tough one, that. It could be kind of like a spike in a channel, I don't. Funnily enough, someone else has just put that on there, so maybe he's thinking the same way. Thomas Wade's got that with an overshoot. There was a few different channels. I had that. So it's a bit early anyway, so we'll just see what happens. But I think it likely we fill that at some point. And if you zoom out, it kind of does, like we are kind of trending up. When we're at the top here, we came down. We do look like we're close to the top here. We're certainly, I think, what all-time highs. Where are we? Let me just have a look at the daily. Not quite. We're not far off. All-time highs is around about around about 53, I think. So all-time highs is up here somewhere. It's around about 53, give or take. It's a bit hard to tell. 52, 53, something like that. So let's just mark that up. Somewhere around there, give or take a point, just as a rough guide. It's hard to know what this is going to do. It does look like, if you zoom out, we're at the top of something. So exponential, how you doing, buddy? Okay, yeah, 53. That's about where I had it. So let's bring that down to about there. Yeah, that's about right. Somewhere around about there, isn't it? Just so we got right. I mean, we're still a little ways off. So market is moving anyway, which is encouraging. Someone took a long off here. I wouldn't say I'd be ready for that just yet, because we have got a channel. If we've got some sort of channel here, we could have had we've had a break, 2 pushes to a new high. We could get a break. So taking a long here for me would have been super risky. But someone said perfect VWAP kiss. See, that's what I mean. It depends how you trade. Sacred Geometry, how you doing, buddy? So this doesn't look too bad. We've got a touch, and a touch, and a couple of touches at the top, kind of in the right area. So I'd say this is the best we've got at the moment. So we have gapped up, but not on this chart. But I've looked on the daily, and you can clearly see the gap on the daily. So you can see it there. So we have gapped up. We're coming up to all-time highs here. Well, we look like we are. So we're kind of trending up anyway. This is the daily. We push up, we have a break. We push up, we have a break. We push up. So if we hit this area, we hit this top here and add a couple of legs back. And same again, got close, this couple of legs back. So it'd be interesting to see what it does. This is daily, by the way, when it gets up here, which we're not far away. So I think there's a good chance we do fill that today. Leg and a big push up, leg and a leg. Maybe this is just a second attempt. So I don't know. I'll keep an eye on it. My bars look different. I think I've reloaded. I'll do it again for you, bud. How you doing, Sean? Thomas Wade said he's struggling to find a good channel. Yeah, I kind of get that. So, sorry, mate. I'll zoom in again in a minute so you can see. I don't know why it does that. Is that any better? I mean, sometimes they just are different for whatever reason. I don't know. Now the bars look similar. Yeah, we haven't got a touch there now. So touch. So, yeah, you know, I suppose a lot of it is to do with internet speed, where you are in the world. It's probably a contributing factor to some degree, but I'm not 100% sure. But I'd say it's somewhere along those lines. You got the same as well. Okay, that's good. It does help if you got something close. So my accounts are looking quite nice. I did take a payment a week ago. I'm probably going to take another payment this week. I've got my accounts to a level now where hopefully I should be able to take a little bit every month. That's the plan, and then just slowly add to them. So I'm probably going to take maybe another couple of $1,000 this week, which will give me 3 this month. So thanks, mate. Cheers. It's taken a while. I mean, I have had payments, but I've not had anything consistently. I've had a payment missed a couple of 3 months, and I've still had a little bit of stupidness where I tend to struggle with losses. It's kind of the last piece of the puzzle, really, for me. My skill level's enough now, so I win more than I tend to go for around about 1 to 1 3 points, somewhere about there. If you look at the ATR, add a tick above it, tick below it, it's 2 3/4 points. So I tend to think 3 points is somewhere around about 1 to 1. So I'm winning more than I lose. So I'm profitable. But I do have it now. So if I take a loss on Guardian Angel trade, it cuts me out for the day. And I think it's good at the moment. It's helping me and it's enabling me to build these accounts up a little bit. They're not huge, but they're sort of around about the 3,000. So it'd be nice to just get a little bit every month. And then, if I can take maybe $500 per account per month, and then whatever I make on the month on top of that continues to grow the account. And then when I get maybe 5,000, I'll take 1,000 a month per account and something like that. In an ideal world, I'd like to have these accounts to say minimum of 5,000 and then say, okay, that's my baseline. Whatever I make this month, I pay myself, whether it's 1,000, whether it's 2,000, obviously, there's a certain cap, isn't there? But I'd like to ideally keep about 5,000 in there. And that gives me that little bit of breathing space. And then whatever else I make above that, let it grow. And it's taken me a long time to learn that. I've been quite stupid, quite stubborn, and quite immature, in all fairness. I've been stupid and I've thrown money at it in frustration, thinking it's the answer, and it's not. It is part of the journey, but it's a journey I believe I've made a lot harder for myself. But I think really you got to be honest with yourself and ask yourself the question: how am I doing? Where am I struggling? What I need to do? And I've been able to answer that, but I haven't been able to follow it for some reason. It's just, I suppose we've all got strengths and weaknesses. And this has just been a little bit of weakness of mine, which has been a touch frustrating. But the trouble is, it's kind of a vicious circle. You make a stupid mistake, you get frustrated, you blow an account, and you kind of do the same again. And, you kind of end up going around in circles. I had a phone call from a guy just randomly, nice guy, maybe 6 months ago. And he said, you're doing exactly the same as I am. You're getting a little bit of success. You're taking money and then and he was the one I actually suggested I take 1 loss a day and that's it. And I never really listened. I listened to what he said, but I didn't take his advice. And it's weird, isn't it? Some people that give you advice, they turn out to be right in the end. And perhaps I should have listened, but you kind of listen to the advice and you kind of make your own decisions. And I think I was just trying to run before I could walk, really. And we all do it. We all, learn this business at different levels. Some people pick it up quick. Some people are, some people can get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, run 3 miles, have a shower, have breakfast, and they can do that every day of their life. Some people are just mentally focused in whatever they do. I'm not one of them. I wish I was. But one of my strengths is if I want something, I pretty much get it. It may take me a while, but I've got that sort of, I'd rather try and fail than not bother trying at all. So, I've had to sort of have a good look at myself and try and give myself a talking to and say, look, your skills are okay here, but there's gaps missing that you need to put right if you ever want to sort of be continuously successful at this. And it is part of it. There is always going to be an element of that when you're learning to do something, especially when you don't have there's no sort of structure to the way we learn. I'm not taken on by, an investment firm and I have people working with me, all the right equipment, all the right information, all the right support, all the right this, I have to you kind of got to do it yourself. A big source of sort of inspiration and support has been having you guys there as well. Kind of, I think it's good. If you can learn this together with other people, because I think as much as it's a solitary business, this, when you are learning, it is good to have some support because it can mess with your brain. This business can. I found at times it's affected my mood and my personality to a degree. You know, my wife said to me, I used to dread you coming downstairs. Not that I'm ever nasty or physical or anything like that, just moody and grumpy and, you know. And it can really mess with your head, this business. So having people around you definitely helps. It helps share the burden a bit. And I'll tell you now, I believe this to have been a burden. I believe it to be something great if you can learn it and stick at it. You'll have a lot better lifestyle. You'll earn more money, but, you know, you have got to stick at it and go through all the bad times, and you're more going to get lots of them. But if you just keep coming back and keep trying, I've always been a believer in you. You know, if you keep trying, you'll get there. Some people obviously get there quicker than others, but that's the way life is. So I've got this channel. At the moment, I'm still not massively convinced enough to trade it. And I certainly don't want to trade long up here. It is bouncing there. I mean, you bounce once, twice. You could say a triple test here, but there wasn't a bar that interests me, really. That one I didn't like. If I'm going to take a triple test, I prefer the bar to look somewhere around, you know, something like that one there, and we just didn't get it. And not only that, these triple tests this close to the top of a channel, they're always a little bit risky because you've got less distance to go, really, before it could turn down. And as I say, I'm not 100% convinced of this channel. I think it's as good as we've got. Other traders, I don't know about you guys, but ones I can see, he's got it. Thomas Wade's got it. Mike's got it. So, you know, everyone's kind of looking at the same picture. I will say now, over the last 3 months, I am enjoying my trading for the first time. Triple test long, triple test short. Yeah, that's the trouble when you're up here. You just never quite know where it's going to go. We've got a bit of a channel here with a break, 2 pushes to a new high, so it could trap some longs and rock it down. But this is a bit of a range as well, so would I want to fade this back into the range? It's a tough one, this. I've let trades, if this breaks out and ends up bullish, I've left trades, I've let them go like this before, and they've just continued to go up. So, based on this channel, it's a tough one. I'd have to see what it looks like. But leg and a leg, maybe a bullish bar there. It's very tempting. Very tempting. I mean, it's come down to that midline and bounced. It is a second entry long. It's 10 ticks.
Order submitted.
How do I feel about it? I'm not sure at the moment. It looks okay, the actual setup itself.
Order
the bit
cancelled.
that's making me a bit nervous, you shorted it there. Yeah, the bit that's making me a bit nervous is where we are. How you doing, Jan? It may work, and it has, but at the moment it's a bit too early on in the day to be, to be sure about where this thing's going. So I was right to sit tight. If that had been down here, that would have been a very different story. And now that is a leg and a leg. That might be a better option to go long. Sometimes that first one does stop out. Then we got our 2 legs and off it goes. But I just like a little bit more confidence in this channel first. You sure it's risky. The thing is, if you're going for a point, that risk is mitigated a little bit, isn't it? You've not got to get a lot, really. So even sometimes a riskier trade gets you a point. So there's 2 legs back. There is a bullish bar on my other chart, actually. But it's triggered it, and already it started working down. So this is telling me maybe I just should sit tight and, get a little bit more market movement before I decide to take a trade. Now I'm starting to build my account, so I'm starting to feel like I've got, you get a little bit of protective then, don't you? The trouble is with the downside to trading prop firms is you start from zero. And when you've got nothing to lose, you kind of, you're more prone to take risks. If you put $2,500 of your own money in, that's a different story. You tend to be a little bit more careful. I went a little crazy today and went 2 points. That's you spending too much time with me, mate. That's what it is. Yeah, it's a tough one. I've looked at that many times. There's very few trades, I think, that get 1 point that don't get two. And the beauty about going for two instead of one, you are making, you're doubling your profit. So even if it works every 3 trades, it's still it's a winning formula, isn't it? So for me, it's a no-brainer. But it's not that simple if you've been going for a point every time. So channel break, new low. If you're going for 1 point every time and then all of a sudden you jump up to 2, you've got to sit there a little bit longer, and that's not for everybody. I remember talking to Daniel about it maybe a year and a half ago, and he said he finds it hard enough to sit through 1 point, let alone 2, and it took him a bit to come up to. He trades 1.5 points now, but only if you're ready, and it's not for everyone. I got no issues with people trading their own way. Well, if it works, we know you've got a winning formula. We know you do okay at trading. But it's not for everyone. Some trades that Mac does mark goes for 6 ticks. So, he probably does trade slightly different from me. There are a couple of times that I may stay out of a short with a 2 point risk from the bottom that Matt may get in, purely and simply, just because of the dynamics of it. If it's a 4 point range, I don't want to be going for 3 points if I'm already a point in by the time I'm getting into my trade. So channel break, new low. I'd like to get down to here. And if we can start moving off. Trouble is, it's still quite early on in the day, isn't it? We have got that. Trouble is, when you're aware of a gap like that, you do know that there's a good chance it's going to get filled, which means coming down significantly. It's 35 points to fill that gap. So, and on that note, market just dropped. I can't bring that into play there, but that's as much as I'm prepared to do. Channel break, new low. So this thing's looking like it may decide to drop. Do I think sometimes when you're a trader, we get better and better at it making decisions, but I think there's always that very small percentage that never quite goes away that makes you do something odd and random just once in a while. Just all of a sudden you decide to do something out of character. So there's always that tiny little bit of kind of mystery of what may happen from time to time. So I'm going to extend that now. Dare I extend it to there? In fact, it fits with that, doesn't it? So let's just have a look at this. In fact, the more I see that now, the more I think I'm probably safer to get rid of that. So 2 legs up here, second entry short here. Would be interesting to take. We've got a channel break, new high, channel break, new high. So second entry short here would interest me. That's only a first entry, so, but it does look like we are moving downwards. That was a first entry, which is a shame because it was in the right area. There is a little bit of support here as well. We've got the overnight highs there and a touch there and a little bit of support there. So, but by the look at this, it's probably going to come down, taking into consideration that gap as well. I mean, look at that. We were talking up there a minute ago and all of a sudden Where were we? The channel was here. All of a sudden, we're down 12 points. So it just goes to show things, how quick things can change. So I have to pay attention to that because it's the overnight highs. You can clearly see there's some support there and support there. So taking a short here may be a little risky. Having said that, in fact, there's a bullish bar off that bottom there. You could say 1, 2, 3 just triggered. This is probably going to take it down some more, I think. If we can get below there and close below there. Okay, it'd be nice to get up here. Second entry short off here, channel with a break, leg and a leg. There's quite likely going to be some longs trapped there, bouncing off the overnight highs. So if we can get to a second entry short here, that may interest me. I'm just going to get an order ready.
Order
we are
submitted.
Bearish at the moment, I think, and this is a break, so a leg and a leg. May not even get up there. Hopefully it will. On push up. Little bit of a range there. So leg and a leg, fell breakout. Let's see what this looks like. That's not good enough. I want it to go higher. My only concern is if the short's here, I prefer the short up here, really, leg and a leg. Sometimes if you take it here, it'll trigger you and come up to this level. Let's see what this looks like. I don't like the way it's flickering around there. I prefer a triple test there, I think. Okay, that bearish bar triggered quickly. Well, bearish, it's more neutral, really. So I think that's risky. I think it'll break above that, but I would like to see a triple test. There's always a possibility this could come up here because it bounced off the overnight highs, but just knowing that gap's down there, it's making me think this is going to come down some more. It's not a lower high, unfortunately. It is coming down, though. That's pretty bearish. I would like a triple test, though. Someone said VWAP is down there. There is a short failure on my other chart. Leg and a leg. If this comes down bearish, that may interest me. The trouble I have here is there is... No, it's okay. It's okay. Mm. I very nearly took that there. It looked better there. 1, 2, 3 triple test. There's probably going to be some longs there, but it was just a bit above the EMA for me. It's very easy to get stuck thinking a certain direction, and it did work. But I try and keep myself open-minded. I didn't like what I was seeing here, but it worked, and it worked nicely in the end. So 2 pushes up. So we know there's overnight highs here, which is creating a bit of support. Let's see what happens. It did push straight down and then stop there. So I'm hoping we get another leg down. And if we do, that's going to start to get us into this area where we're going to start to fill that gap. And then maybe there is a larger channel down there. So we just have to keep an eye on that. Yeah, we kind of had an idea where it was going, unfortunately. I just didn't quite have the confidence to take it. Leg and a leg. A breakout pullback. We're not trapping anything at the moment. That's the problem. I think there's a fair chance now we have another leg down here. Second entry short maybe here. Let's just get an
order submitted.
Breakout pullback. Nice to trap along here. You could say that's a hidden second entry short. I'm just not a massive fan of it. I think it's probably going to work. I'm not sure about this at the moment.
Order cancelled. Order submitted.
Lag and a lag off this. Tempting. What is it? 8 ticks. It's not a huge risk. It's a little bit
Order
congested
cancelled.
here, which is clouding that picture a little bit. Let's just get rid of that. In fact, maybe we get a spike in a channel. I'd much prefer this bottom to get up here. Something like that. Will that give us anything? Channel break, 2 pushes to a new low. Let's just not get too focused that this thing is definitely going down. It's easy to do that, and it could end up not. Okay, excuse me just for a second. I'm just going to take a quick bathroom break. I'll be a minute. It's very easy to assume we're going to come down for another leg. Maybe we will, but let's see what happens here. Silo, you have a big range drawn. Yeah, there may be something. There's definitely support there. So I'm kind of looking at it as that as the bottom of it. Bounce off the overnight highs. We had a bounce, which is why I never got into a short there. Although it would have worked for a few points. Let's get rid of that a minute. I'd be inclined to bring that down a touch to say there. So if this is a range, there is, let me have a look, failure there. I'm just sitting tight here as well because, well, no real reason. I'm just unsure about things at the moment. So, this thing could still go down. Channel down. So 1, 2, 3. Who knows? So if you took that there, you got stopped out. Let's see if it bounces here. I'm still thinking, I'm erring on the side of bearish just with this move down, purely and simply because of this gap. And that's kind of what I was afraid of. Well, thinking it was going to happen, kind of 3 attempts to push up and then a drop. Let's see what happens here. So my guess now, this is coming down some more. We've had a bit of a range. We've had a failed breakout. It's pushed in, but it hasn't got to the top. We've got a little double top there or triple top. So for me, this is losing up with momentum. So, you know, I don't know if there's a gap there. Would that make you err on the side of caution going long? You know, because gaps are often filled in relatively quickly. So, you know, I don't know. This is looking bearish to me at the moment. Yeah, trouble is we may continue on out. There's no, you know, I think usually by the end of the day we'll fill that gap. And also if you zoom out, there is kind of a trend going up, isn't there? So we're kind of at the top of it. So it would make sense coming down to the bottom of it, which is what it usually does in a, you know, a bigger trend. And we've got that gap there as well. So there's 2 reasons this thing's likely to go down. Second entry short from here, which I don't think we're going to get anyway, but if we can't, whoa, Christ. So there was obviously, it ate up some stops there because there was traders going long there back into this range, and all of a sudden we had that quick drop, which ate some stops. Traders are going to fade that. The trouble is at the moment with this gap there and this thing looking like we may get a second leg down, it's not something I want to get into, but someone took that, hence that quick drop and ate through those. You know, that fair. Well, I'm guessing that's what it is. So this thing's pushing down now. So going along here again. I don't think that's it has triggered. It is a second entry long, but my gut feeling is that is floating in the middle of nowhere. Took that green bar fell. Second entry long triggered. Hit the take profit. Fast couldn't move per points. Yeah, it does that sometimes, does it? So it is a second entry long, but my gut feeling is this thing is going to at least... see, we were up here, weren't we, 10 minutes ago, and we were talking about this could come down in an uptrend, and all of a sudden, you know, literally 10, 15 minutes later, we're down 20 points. So it came down, stopped that bar out there, so there was a second entry long, but this thing's got other things on its mind. Look, it's dropping. So leg and a leg. Unfortunately, there was no real indicator there, even to think about this. So, move's done now, isn't it? So, we're getting close to moving into that gap. So, if we can get a second entry short here, couple of legs up that looks really nice, that would be an option for a trade. The clean head and shoulders, shoulder head, yeah, it is, isn't it? If you've got a shoulder like that, that needs some work. So here comes that measured move, I'd say. So it would be nice to get a second entry short, 2 nice legs up here and a nice bearish bar. Having said that, shoulder, head, shoulder, it finishes here, so going short again here. I don't know, would you want to do it? I've not got a problem with it, I don't think, but the fact that it's bounced off there, so I'd have to get something looking nice. But if we are in a channel down here, then, you know, we'll see. For me, it's more about how the legs look. If there's two nice legs side by side in the bearish bar here, context is everything, but also a really nice setup. I mean, you could consider that a second entry short there, technically. But that's just really one leg up to me. I wouldn't want to go short here because it could come a bit higher. So I'd like a leg with a break and a leg. I think legs much better. I mean, technically it's set in short. You can restart the count or you can count it. So technically one push up, a second push up. You can use it, but would you want to? Not really. There's one leg up. Measured moves played out more or less, so I'll be looking for a correction. I wouldn't want to take that. I've got stuck in them before. So leg and a leg. If we can get up to here and get something bearish, I'll probably wait for the lower high. I don't want to just assume this is coming down because we have bounced at the overnight lows. Really, the market get well. Did you say the overnight low? Yeah, I suppose so. It's just a range day. We're coming off the bottom. That's the trouble there. There is support there, as we know, so there's no guarantees. So it would have to be a second entry short followed by a nice lower high. The lower high is a better indication. It's a safer bet. I mean, it could just turn here, but you have to pay attention to that. It's looking more and more like head and shoulders. There's your shoulder, there's your shoulder, but it has played out right down to there. Yeah, there's always a possibility that this thing could just be in a range. Trouble is, earlier on in the market, really, you're waiting for some real kind of structure. At the moment, we've gone up and we've come down, so it's really not giving us a huge bit of information. So there is a second entry short, nice bearish bar there, but it's very tempting. But I would want to wait for the lower high below that EMA. It is two nice legs after a channel. We do know there's a gap down there, but sometimes that can fool you into getting in too early. Let's see if it triggers. I don't think it's terrible. It is two legs up. It may work, but the safer option is the lower high. Because if you do take that and it triggers, it stops you out. You kind of... you're kind of buggered, aren't you? So it's much better to wait for the lower high and below the EMA, not just here for me as well. But it is two nice legs up, so that's the one good thing. Okay. You're done, are you? Good on you, mate. I bet you took that, didn't you? And you got a point there. Good for you, mate. Good on you. That's what you want, in and out. You got like the best job in the world there by the sounds of things, mate. Yeah, I thought you might have done. That's what you want, though, straight in and out. Straight in and out. I'm going to wait for the lower high. Good for you, mate.
Order submitted.
See, look at that. That's the beauty about scalping for a point. Even if the thing decides to come up now, two legs like that with a bearish bar, pretty sure there's a good chance that's coming to the EMA. So if you can get in there, I mean, back to the EMA, plenty of points there. I'm not sure. Yeah, I tend to, if I was scalping a point, two legs, bearish bar, you'd think it's likely to come to the EMA, wouldn't you? So us poor saps are going for 2-3 points and more. And Jan's coming in, taking a couple of trades, and he's done in half the time. He was the smart one there. I saw him. I'm guessing probably him. we could still get a kind of hidden second entry long, and this could go up. It's still just a little bit too early to get in. So I'd like a second entry long here to trigger and then come down. It's certainly working along the right area. That's encouraging, but sometimes it just doesn't. But I'd like to see a second entry long trigger. If that comes in, I may get in there. Come on, push up a little bit. Oh, that's no good, is it? What's it like on the other chart? Not terrible. Nothing we can really do at the moment.
Order cancelled.
Would you call that a lower high? Not now. It's all right. On my other chart, there was a little second entry long there which triggered. So if we got a bearish bar here, that would be interesting. And also you could probably call it a lower high, but look. The thing is, we're off the bottom here, so there's always a possibility that there may be a spiking channel, which is why this may be pushing out. So if you take that from there to there, that fits, and now the bottom fits. So I actually like that much better as a spiking channel. Which if you don't get a shorty, it kind of doesn't help us. Still risky around here because we've had two legs up. We could get a leg and a leg, and this thing could possibly go higher. So I'd like to trap a bull bar here. Channel up, one attempt to go lower, second attempt to go lower. I can't, well, I don't know, to be honest with you. This, to me, looks like it's trying to go lower, but maybe struggling. No, it's just a bit, I don't know. I mean, it may not be a spike and channel. It may be a break. Ooh, flipping hell, look at that. That's flickering up and down. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like it when it does that. It doesn't do that as much as it used to, but 1, 2, 3, maybe a triple test, second entry short. Bar's no good anyway, really. I suppose it's, well. See, on my other chart, you could say a triple test, but it's a bit stagnant there. It's a bit congested, so there's a fairly there long. Could stop out that one. We kind of go up sideways and up. So I got mixed feelings here. That one was kind of tempting, second entry short, but it's right in the middle of this bit of congestion here. So it's asking for trouble. That is, I think. There'd have been a time where I'd take them. Now I'm a bit cautious about that. Just sometimes for the hell of it, it'll just pick off stops like that because it is a triple test, but it's just stacked up. And even if it traps this long, it's probably stopped that little flick up there and took out that. So maybe a leg, and this is the short option. I'd rather short from the top of here rather than short from the middle. But I just don't like what I'm seeing here. I think after a while you just get the feeling that I need to stay out of this because it is stacking up a little bit. I mean, it could, leg and a leg, it could hit that and rock it down, but it may continue to go sideways for a time. None of us like to be sat in a trade going sideways because it does reduce the possibility of it working when it starts to go sideways. See, someone else has got a chart right to the top there, and it still fits, even with the break. Maybe just there, actually. So, yeah, I'm not sure about this. Just for now, I'm just going to leave it like that, and just assume we've had a break. Yeah, I'm not sure about this at the moment. Let's put it to how I originally had it, and we'll just... I don't mind bringing that into play. But the rest, I'd just like to sort of let it sort itself out. I mean, it could go down, but it also could go up. There is a possibility this is just a bigger range. We gap up. We could go up and down half a dozen times first. We could have one leg up, second leg up, and then fill the gap later in the day, or maybe even not today. It's always a possibility. I can't remember off the top of my head whether gaps always or most of the time fill, but on the daily. But some I don't think do. I just don't. I tend to be aware of it, and then tomorrow I move on and forget all about it. I mean, we've had two legs there, more or less. So there's that overnight highs mark. You can clearly see it's playing a part where it bounced there, dropped below it there and pushed up. And it may be playing a part here as well. Okay, I'm not sure what's going on here, where it is ranging or not. So I'm just going to take a quick 5 minutes and make a cup of tea while it's figuring out what it wants to do. There's nothing I can really do up here. I can't trade it long at the moment because it's a range, because you don't know whether we're going to have a leg and it's going to come down from this channel. Small spot. It could be a bunch of stuff, couldn't it? So I'm just going to make a quick cup of tea and I'll be back in about 3 to 5 minutes. Okay, so maybe it is a break and channel. Let's see if we can get
Order
2
submitted.
legs up. Second entry short might be nice. We just get rid of that. So leg and a leg. That's the thing. You never quite know where things are going. Leg and a leg. It's too far down, that is, for me. It's got to be up here. Trouble is, my only slight concern is when you have a channel that big, it often doesn't do that and pushes straight down. Sometimes it may come further up, it may go sideways. It's hard to say. And there's always the possibility of a range. So second entry short might not be right. We'll see. See if we get anything first. We've got to get up here and look really nice. Two legs up and then down. Come on, get up to here. Come on. Okay, that's a nice bearish bar there. For me, would be worth a short, I think. Doesn't seem to be coming down as quick as I'd like. I mean, you can't deny that. Let's have a look. Oh, it's very tempting, but just that I don't know, it looks like it's struggling to me a little bit there. It's not a terrible signal bar, but the bit that confuses me, that concerns me, sorry, is whenever we get a big move like this, it is two legs up and a push back down, but sometimes it just messes around first. I mean, if this is kind of a range, then you probably expect it to come down. If this is a channel, you would expect it to come down.
Order
No,
canceled.
I don't know what I'm seeing here. Just doesn't often just do that, and that's it. Channel, break and down. So we have got overnight highs there. Do we call them overnight highs? Yeah, I suppose so. So maybe a channel down, maybe a leg up. I'd like to see two kind of bigger legs here, because I think because of the size of this channel, I'd just feel more comfortable getting into a short with a couple of legs up. I mean, there is a bearish bar there. But I just, you know, I don't have to think now. I just either like it or I don't like it, and something's saying just be cautious there. Well, it doesn't mean it can't work, but it's just a leg and a leg. I would have to take a lower high there, really. Yeah, Thomas Ways, and unfortunately, personally, I need a lower high. I agree with him. It is a second entry short, but I don't like this the way it's sat on top of the EMA. I would not take a short. I don't know. No, it would have to be a lower high. You got the feeling we're heading up. That's the trouble. You think we're going up, I think we're going down. That's the trouble. Because it's of an area where it's unclear. See, if thinking about the channel, touch, break, new low. Normally you'd expect a new low. Now I know we've got a gap there. I know you know. We all know we've got a gap there, so there's a good chance it's going to fill. But this to me looks like 2 legs down, 2 legs up and straight down. So I'd like to see 2 more legs up before we go short. But we've got some support here as well, so it's just hard to say. So if you took that one, trigger just stopped you out. So it was a good decision to stay out of that. I think a couple of people got stopped out of that one, I think. Wow, bye-bye. Chomp. Sometimes it does this, it just gets a little bit unclear. And I think when it's doing this, you best zoom out and look at the bigger picture. So the bigger picture to me is a channel down, one attempt to push higher. So I'd like to see another attempt to push higher and then maybe catch it on the way down. Trouble is, the bigger these channels, the more scenic route. I love that word. I think it's a good description. I heard somebody mention it a couple of weeks ago. More of a scenic route. And as we know, the scenic route is right around the bloody planet, basically, instead of a break. And it doesn't do that, really. It rarely does that just as a break. If it does have a break and comes straight down, usually it's because we've got a wider channel. So we've got 2 legs up, as we can see. We push down. Now, there's going to be some people trading short here, isn't it? Looking for shorts or something. But it's just too early, in my opinion. You've just, because of the size of the channel, you've just got to give it a little bit more space and kind of pick the bigger picture. So, I mean, the fact that we've also had this range, 2 legs up and come down, it's not acting like a range to me. It's acting like it's had a break of a channel because we got 2 legs up. Now, ordinarily, really, if this was a range and we got nearly halfway, I wouldn't expect it to come straight down. I'd expect it to come back to the EMA, pick up some more buys and push up some more. So my gut feeling tells me this is probably still going to come down and make a low from this. And if it does get below that, it may start to fill that gap. So I'm just expecting more of a bigger move and as I say, the scenic route before it eventually does move down, which I think it probably will. So I'm not looking for longs or shorts just yet. As I say, I'd like to see a couple of legs up first. But I don't tend to. I can see, yeah, I have the picture in my head of what I want to see, so I don't tend to have to count so much anymore. It's countings. You know, I think Mac used to do second entries, and then when he said, I like that setup, but by the count, it's not a second entry, let's call it a visual second entry. And that's kind of what it is. It's more about what it looks visually. If it looks nice visually, chances are it's going to work. You know, I'm a Mac teacher's it's a second. Excuse me a sec, I've just got to pick a parcel up on me a sec. Sorry, my wife actually. What was I saying? I was probably waffling about a load of rubbish, wasn't I? Wasn't I? If anyone wants me to carry on, remind me. Otherwise, if you don't say nothing, I'll shut up. Lag and a lag, strong pushback. Yeah, see, prices just put that up. I'm inclined to agree. 2 pushes up and then down. So there's our first leg, and that's what I was talking about, getting this second leg up and down. But I agree with that. That's the 10,000 tick chart. Let's have a look at it. So we've had a break and attempt low, and we've had 1 leg up, 2 legs up, and we've just had a little pullback from there. So it's still a bit too early, I think. I'd maybe like to get a bit higher. It may not make a difference, to be honest with you. So even if you've got a channel like that, maybe a small overshoot, I don't know. I'm not thinking at the moment. I'm waiting for a setup to go short, but I think this may be a bit too early to get in after here, really. But it does look like a leg and a leg, that to me, more than a channel, I would have said. Channel break, 2 pushes to a new high. Channel overshoot, which is, yeah. So second entry short, 2 little legs here. That would interest me. Go short. Let me just check we're not ranging here as well. There's always that possibility. Leg and a leg. If we can get a second entry short here somewhere, that would interest me, I think. This to me isn't showing me it's going up. This is telling me it's struggling to go up. And it seems to be coming down so much quicker. Thomas Wade, I will have to wait for a stronger trade. Personally, second entry short fell, second entry long, so he's thinking short as well. So leg and a leg and possibly a leg and a leg with a pullback, leg and a leg. I'd like to get above this, really. Have a leg and a leg. This sort of height, so leg up, leg up. What I will say is, as we've pushed up, we've bounced there, and we haven't got quite down low enough there. And I've made this mistake before of thinking short, and we've pushed up a couple of times and bounced at this area, and I've been focused on short, and it's come back to bite me. So 2 legs up and a strong move down, but we've bounced there, bounced again, and we've come up and we've bounced there and we've bounced again. So I just got to be careful going short here. You know, sometimes when you get into a trade and you think, hold on a minute, I've gone short here before, and then when I look back, we bounced a couple of times there. So leg and a leg, and then all of a sudden a big drop. It is a little bit choppy, so it can get you into trouble. So 2 legs up, 2 attempts to go lower, and then off up. It can do a bunch of stuff here. I think to a certain degree you got to keep open-minded, because it's very easy to focus on trading in a certain way and being convinced until we break this low there's no way we're doing anything bar coming down, and that can get you into trouble. It has done with me multiple times. So if there's a bit of a doubt here, I'm not sure where things are going, you need to know whether the market's going up or going down to trade. I mean, even if it's going sideways, you still needs to be going up in a range. And if you're not sure and there's reasonable doubt, I think you've just got to stay out of it. Although we have got a channel down here, we've had 2 pushes up and a strong move down, a little overshoot. It's struggled to get down here, and then we've bounced 3 times higher. So 1, 2, 3. It could be a triple test and go long. There's always a possibility of it. But it's very easy to get that focused on the wrong direction, and the first thing you know about it, you take a trade and it completely stitches you. So I think I've learned over a bit of time just to keep an open mind and don't get that focused that it can only go in one direction for a period of time. But we have got a channel down, 1 push up, 2 push up, 3 push up. I'd have preferred to get a little bit higher here. So second entry long off there. Would you go long off there? I wouldn't, personally, but it is a triple test, so maybe it'll work. But I still think I'd like to see this, but I'm not that focused that it can't push up from here, because it certainly can. Yeah, Thomas Wade's just said it in a nutshell. Nothing we can do but stay patient. Too choppy, absolutely. It's just choppy and unclear. I made the mistake a while ago thinking I had to know what was going on. Otherwise, I wasn't a good trader. But then when you hear Max say the skilled traders are staying out, if they're staying out, what does that tell you? They don't know what's going on. So not knowing what's going on is not a bad thing. It's not, it's not a dent on your skill or anything. It just means market's choppy and it's too dangerous to take a trade. I mean, it's still kind of readable to a degree, but it looks to me like it can't make up its mind whether it wants to make this low or push up a bit more. And while it's doing that, we just have to be patient, really, and just sit tight. It does take a long time to really work on that. I've always been a bit of a rusher, and I thought I may struggle with the patience, and I kind of did for a long time. But I don't have a problem with patience now. Patience was the one thing I thought I would struggle with most of all, but I kind of don't. It's still that taking a loss. So, but if I sit here for 3 or 4 hours and walk away without taking a trade, I give myself a pat on the back, because I haven't been kind of seduced by a market that's not, showing its true colours today. People, that's another thing I like reading. Some of these comments sitting in my hand zone. Absolutely right. Nothing going on. Don't be a donator. It's exactly what you want to be reading. Nothing we can do. Stay patient. Too choppy. I hate this. I've done it again. Look. Oh man. This score I can see. I think yeah, good. So 2 legs up. It could be a leg and a leg down, and then up we go. So channel down with the break. 1 attempt to go lower. 2nd attempt to go lower. This thing could potentially take off. So it's not kind of giving me anything at the moment. Yeah, see on my other chart, there's a big bullish bar. 2nd entry long off the bottom. 2 legs up, a leg and a leg. This could go up. And there'll be a lot of traders thinking this thing's coming down. In all honesty, while it's doing this, nothing's certain. What I will say is the fact we had this leg down and we've had 2 attempts to push higher. So my gut feeling is we're going to make this measured leg, which take us to the lows of the day. Now, whether it does it right now or it does something else, but we've had that strong push down, 1 attempt to go higher, 2nd attempt to go higher, strong move for the EMA, pull back. So my gut is telling me it's going to come and make this measured leg. It's nothing you can do down here, though. That's the trouble. Really, the best place to have got him would have been up here if you believe that's what was going to happen. But sorry, maybe a 2nd entry short here, but you know, it is choppy, so it's unclear. But you know, we all have our opinion based on what we're seeing, where we think price is going to go, and my feeling is after we've had 2 legs up, strong push down, we've had those 2 pull back and bounced off this area, and then that strong push that it was eventually going to push its way down to the bottom. So there was quite likely going to be some stops below there, and if it gets below there, which it's looking like it may do, then I'm guessing it's going to be down, continuing south down here. But there is a possibility of a 2nd entry long and a higher low. But I wouldn't want to be going long here just yet. So that's broke below there. See, there was a bullish bar there and a 2nd entry long. So if anyone's thinking long, bounce, bounce, bounce. But although I'm not focused, the only way this thing can go down to break below there and fill that gap. Maybe that's the way, but doesn't mean it's going to do it now. See, there is a possibility of another leg down here which would fill that gap. Trouble is, you've got to be so careful. If you get it wrong, touch, 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 touch. Channel down, 2 legs up.
Order submitted. Order submitted.
Okay, second entry short. Channel down. We'll say 2.75 risk. There's a higher low there, and it triggered. I like that. I mean, it may not work. We'll see. I'm going to give that one extra tick. It's around 300 then, we'll see. But there's a higher low there, see. I wouldn't be taking a higher low here. That to me is risky personally. I'll put it back there now. So there may be longs there plus a higher low, so we'll see. Ten PAs. Good for you, girl. Well done. It is a second entry short. I like it. My only slight concern is if that's a failed break. I don't know. We'll see. Someone else. Thomas Wade's taking it anyway, so that's something. Lower high, that would be a better option.
Order filled.
Okay. So, 3 points. Nice. Second entry short, wasn't it? Plus 3 points. Good. No, me, you, 10 PAs, Guru. I'll copy. Yeah, I'm not as guru as you. You got a lot more patience than me, you have. Okay, so nice trade there. I like that. Channel down. Nice second entry short. Worked nice. I wouldn't want to take a long here. It's always nicer if we're trapping longs and then the lower high. Although the move's kind of done. But my gut feeling is we're coming down, so... So I'm definitely into payout range anyway now. So our accounts are at 4,000 and just under 3,000. So they're working nice now. So I could take another payment. We'll see. I may take a little bit. Let's see. So, yeah. What I like as well is we had some support, then we bounced down, and you could say 1, 2, 3, maybe a triple test here. So I think there's a fair chance it's going to come down for a little bit more. In fact, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to move over to an evaluation now. Let me just check.
Order submitted.
Yeah, I'm going to trade an evaluation because I've got an evaluation over $2,000 here. So, I don't want to. I want to keep my PA's nice and safe now. I'm happy with one trader down my PA's. I had a good week last week. I think I hit $1,200 per account this week. Anything $600 or above, I think is ideal, and that's fine for me. So leg and a leg. See what we get here. Still haven't quite broken those lows and not got into that area. So let me just check.
Order
that only
submitted.
an evaluation is open in yen is. Oh. So leg and a leg. I may have a go at this one. Just on an evaluation. Let's just see where it goes. Although we have got a new low, sometimes it depends. See, actually, there's two legs to a new low. So maybe a short here might not be the ideal. It may come up a little bit higher.
Order cancelled.
Okay, that bar has triggered now. I'm just staying out of this at the moment. It may work, but it could come up a little bit higher. It's definitely choppier today, isn't it? In fact, you know what? My wife's home early today, so I'm going to finish early. I'm up a nice tray today. My new eval's up nice as well, so it's been a good day. And it is quite choppy at the moment, isn't it? So I'm going to finish a bit early today, go spend some time with my wife. So I appreciate the comments. One nice tray today. I'm happy with that. Hopefully you guys took that, or maybe took another one. So have a good day. Best of luck. The volume's a little bit low, actually, to be honest with you. There's not a huge amount around. So best of luck. Have a good day. Just quickly, that Apex finishes tomorrow at midnight. Now, I'm hoping it extends. They've been a bit funny lately. I think last time they extended it and not told anybody, so just keep it in mind, just in case. On the odd time, it'll go back to 80% off. 50% off for a while, a week or a few days or something. So just keep that in mind anyway. So my code's there, UKFT. I think you guys use it anyway, so I appreciate the support. It really helps me spend time here anyway. So best of luck this afternoon. I hope you get something. Failing that, have a great evening, stay safe, and we'll catch up again tomorrow. Bye for now.